What's going on, y'all? What it is. So let's go ahead and slide on these topics. And the first thing I want to cover is this situation that's going down with Shannon Sharpe. So Shannon sat down and interviewed Gary Owens not too long ago, and the actual interview just aired. And Shannon is getting called out all over social media about a certain segment of that video where Gary Owens called him out for not protecting black women. Now, first and foremost, I must say that Shannon should be embarrassed that a dude from a different ancestral background called you out for not protecting your own sisters. But I must say, just judging Shannon's mannerisms, once Gary called him out for it, it just seems like he really didn't give a damn because he laughed it off and took a shot. And I expected him to check Gary for coming onto his show, basically telling him what he doesn't do or how he doesn't defend the women within our community. But there was no rebuttal. There was nothing. Check out these clips and I'll be back.
Chappelle, he can't be canceled.
Yeah.
Ricky Gervais, he cannot be canceled. Andrew Schultz cannot be canceled. I would think Shane Gillis right now, can't be canceled. Kevin can. Kevin's very corporate.
Right.
Kevin has to be careful what he says.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. Like someone like Kat and Chappelle, they don't have these corporate deals. Mm-hmm. Kevin's got to be careful. And I'm sure there's some things he wants to say.
Right.
But he ain't trying to mess up that check. Just like you. You don't defend black women. You know what I mean? There's a lot. I'm sure like Wrangler's about to call you. John Deere.
So while everyone is up in arms about Shannon Sharpe and Gary Owens and this clip about Gary saying that he doesn't defend black women and Shannon laughing in return, I feel like this clip demonstrates a common theme that I see black men do when in the presence of white men, and that's forsake their community and themselves for white male approval. Now, this also opens up the conversation of why does it appear that so many black men suffer from internalized anti-blackness than black women? And I think I might have a hypothesis of why that's the case. To me, I think the reason why black women don't have as much internalized anti-blackness is because in our society, our identity of being black women doesn't really afford us much privilege, okay? Whereas them being black men affords them a little bit of privilege. They get a little taste, right? But I think that taste for them, for some of them anyway, makes them really frustrated at the fact that the only reason why they're not getting the full meal of privilege is because of one thing and one thing only, right? I think for black men who are not talking about that frustration especially, it's really easy to begin to hate the thing that's keeping you from experiencing and accessing the privilege that men have. That's what it seems like to me. And it's like, so it's really easy to shun your people, to shun the black parts of you when you're around the people that you want to be most like. And I'm not saying it to dig at anybody. I'm just saying what I've noticed and what I've seen. And there tends to be a really clear pattern that black men struggle with not liking their blackness and being okay with non-black people hitting on themselves and their community in their face just for a little sliver of approval in return. What are your thoughts?
Shannon Sharpe reacted to Gary Owens saying he don't defend black women the way he did because it's the absolute truth. So I don't understand why so many of y'all are mad or flabbergasted or don't understand why he said and did what he did. Because he don't like us. And it's been obvious and y'all been knowing he don't. What did y'all expect for him to say? To defend himself? Because if he would have, there would have been a damn lie. That man don't like us and he laughed because it was the damn truth.
And look, y'all, just to make sure that we understand the severity of what happened with Shannon Sharpe, okay, what he showed on his page today, because I didn't watch the interview. I'm not gonna act like I did, so I only got to see that clip because he posted it. And let's really talk about the severity of that, though, because Gary was not making a joke. He was very serious, and he said, you know, because you don't protect black women either. And Shannon bellied over laughing, hearty hard, fell back, came to tears, and then said bottoms up. That I feel I'm in danger. Like, why do y'all hate us so bad? I really feel like I'm in danger right now. Like, why was that so funny? And y'all don't understand why we chose the bear? Like, don't put me around nobody. Like, oh my God, I barely want to be around my husband now. Because what's going on with me? And come on, like, we love you. Like, what's happening?
You let this white man sit across from you and tell you, come on, you don't protect black women. You don't stick up for black women. And you thought that it was funny? You know, Gary, you so crazy. You stick up for these black women. Are you crazy? Absolutely not. That's how it sounded. Shannon Sharpe was raised by a black woman, his grandmother, right? He also has sisters. So I would have liked to see some pushback when Gary Owens suggested that you, sir, do not protect black women. On top of that, Gary Owens, a white man, is calling out several black elite in the entertainment industry. Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, saying that these people too do not protect black women. This is a white man telling you that. And then threw your ass on up in there and you like, you know how it is. Do we? I think the anti-blackness, that's all this is, right? It's anti-blackness. I think a lot of black men, and it's not all of them. It's not all of them. But a lot of black men, when they get into these spaces, I think that they yearn for acceptance. And I think the best way that they know how to do that is to separate themselves from their blackness, but that also ties into the fact that in order for a lot of them to be accepted, they need to separate themselves from their kind, specifically black women. And not only do we see a lot of these black men, black entertainers, and I see a lot of them on this app, not only do they have to separate themselves from black women, not only do they have to not date black women, they also have to talk down and berate black women. So here you have a white man who is an outsider of our community. I don't care if he dates black women or he's an ally considered to some of you guys, right? He's a comedian who likes black women. He ain't really an ally. Is somebody who in the field with us, helping the movement. He's not one of those. You guys say he's a part of the ally because he dates black women. Trust me, y'all need to stop that. But a black woman birthed you and a black woman took care of you and a black woman fed you. So instead of you saying, a black woman raised me and I have nothing but the utmost respect for black women, you protect a black woman. Negro, please. Black men have an advantage that black women do not have, which is the fetishization behind being a black man, right? Being the tall, dark, and handsome, being the Mandingo warrior, being all of that, right? The protector, blase, blase. Goes back to slavery times. Right? Isn't that crazy how everything can be connected back to slavery? Very interesting. Black men have a privilege or an advantage that they get to take advantage of, and that's one thing that black women cannot, and that's being fantasized about. The fetishization of the black man is a very, very real thing. I can't tell you how many times I've heard women from interracial couples, so white girl, Hispanic girl that's dating a black man, say that one of the common things that they both agreed on is their hatred for black women. They talk about it all day on this app. How their black man will get with them and tell them how much they cannot stand black women. I'm not making this up. I didn't even know that that was a thing. Whew, child.
All right, y'all. So you just heard the opinions of these beautiful sisters on this particular topic, and I can't agree with them more. I think that Shannon did his community a disservice by not standing up and basically saying, hey, it's not true. But if it is true, I mean, I guess he's keeping it real. But it's just a sad watch. It really is. Now, when Shannon went viral with his cat interview, I was one of the ones that defended him because a lot of people within our community were chastising him on his journalistic skills or the lack thereof. And I was making the point that he clearly said that this is just a safe space and that he didn't claim to be some type of journalist and things like that. Then a lot of people started talking about, does he sleep with men, or is he straight, is he gay, and stuff like that. And again, I defended him because I didn't see what someone chooses to do in their bedroom anyone's business. Now, I'm not saying that that doesn't attribute to his success, because now he's a part of the big boy club, you know what I'm saying? So he might be getting them cheeks clapped but I don't know. That's none of my business. So I defended him on that. Now I can't defend him on this, y'all. Listen, let me tell y'all something. I have been disrespected to the 10th power by my own sisters, but that has not made me turn my back on my sisters, because I know that there are great sisters out there. Just like I don't feel that because black men treat sisters, certain black men treat the sisters a certain way, treat them bad, cheat on them, they don't want to pay bills, they don't want to stand up and take responsibility. I don't think that the sisters should take that out on all the brothers, because there's some good brothers out here. But I have to say, I do look at Shannon a different way. You know, it seems as though he doesn't have an issue with people who look like Gary Owens to disrespect him or to challenge him on things, but he was very testy with Amanda Seales. He was a little bit testy with Monique, very questionable when it came to certain things that Monique had to say. But when it came to Gary, he's laughing and chucking and taking shots and things of that nature when he just called you out for not standing up for the women within your community. But it seems as though that's become a repetitive behavior. He doesn't mind being disrespected by people that look like Gary Owens, because you guys remember that Skip Bayless humiliated him on live television. Humiliated him.
You make it seem like I was a bum. Wait a minute.
What are you talking about?
You would take a personal.
Put your glasses back on.
Now, that segment right there led to Shannon's departure from Undisputed, and then several months later, he got up with Stephen A. Smith, and Stephen A. Smith laid down the path for him to actually come to ESPN. And if you know that if Stephen A. invited him to come to ESPN, that Shannon had to be a good old boy, if you know what I'm saying, because we know what Stephen A. Smith is. But again, this is just disappointing to say the least, and I'm not surprised, but it's just disappointing. But anyway, what I want to do is move along and talk about this story that went viral as well. This guy goes by the name on TikTok, I believe JQ Lee or Jack Lee, something of that nature. We're just going to call him Jay today. But basically, he's a science teacher, or was a science teacher at a particular middle school. And he filmed a TikTok of his students basically taking out his braids. Now, a lot of people were on the fence about this. Some people said it was highly inappropriate. Some people said they didn't see anything wrong with it. Now, what I want to do right now is play the clip of him letting his students basically take out his braids. And then I'm going to play some reactions to that. And then I'll be back to give you my 2 cents.
Let's go ahead and stir the pot a little, shall we? Last Friday, 10 minutes before dismissal time, I decided to live stream my students helping me take my hair out. There was quite the discourse in the chat, which had people saying this was inappropriate and other people saying this was completely fine. There was nothing wrong with what I was doing, and people were just making it weird. So of course I had to bring this issue to the big stage. I would like to represent myself in this case, Your Honor, if I may. Number one, for a little context, I had a hair appointment immediately after school, and I needed my hair taken out beforehand. I would have taken it out the night before, but that Friday we had a camera crew coming in to shoot a promotional video, and I was one of the ones being interviewed. So I had to look presentable, so I didn't take my hair out.
I gotta go celebrate my principal. See ya, thanks for y'all help. I'll get y'all something. I'll get y'all something.
Hey,
Wait, no, Kendall! I'm saying you trying to dap you up.
Dab you up for helping me out.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you. I'll get y'all with something.
Really? Okay, bye.
Alright, Jimmy.
Hey, what are you gonna give them?
I don't know.
Oh!
Why you worried?
So as you can see here, we have this grown teacher getting his braids taken out by a bunch of young kids. These kids are obviously his students. My question is, why do y'all make everything weird? Y'all really be quick to make everything weird, but this time it's actually weird. I don't disagree with you. Obviously this is too close and personal. It just looks too weird, and why does he look nervous? Anybody that think this weird, y'all actually got it this time. But stop being so quick to make everything else weird.
If you aren't a parent, you probably want to scroll past this video. For whatever reason, this teacher decided it was a brilliant idea to post a live stream of him getting his hair unbraided by multiple young girls in his class. In his explanation of the events that occurred, he stated that this was during the kids' free time and they were obviously not pressured into doing this. He goes on to tell that he has a unique relationship with the students in his class, and this was normal behavior for the free time portion of his class. At the end of his video, he poses a question asking, did he do anything wrong? As a parent, there is no way I would want to log on to social media and see one of my kids being involved in something like this. Second, if he was a woman, would there be less outrage? Of course, any person with a slight bit of common sense understands that whether you like it or not, there is a double standard that takes place in the real world. My third point, when working with children, especially young girls, perception of a situation matters most. When I was in high school, the 3 or 4 teachers that I knew personally that ended up catching these kind of cases, they all started with this type of activities, letting the girls hang out in their classrooms, giving them rides home, being extra friendly with the young girls. And their number one argument was that it was innocent.
That teacher getting his braids taken down by the kids made a response video talking about, oh, I teach them that they can come to me about anything. And I'm like, man, if you don't give me my daughter, are you crazy? Can you teach the math? Can you just teach the English class? Okay, can you go home and take your braids out? Or get you somebody to take your braids down? And I was like, okay, that's not so bad when I first saw it, but all I had to do was apply it. Like, I'm a parent and I walk in and my child's supposed to be learning, but here she is taking down some 40-year-old man, some 28-year-old man's hair. I wouldn't like that. I really don't care what the argument is. I don't want it.
Yeah, let's go ahead and start clearing some people. Start off with this gentleman right here. You're letting your daughters play in a grown man's head. God forbid I had kids, but if I had a daughter with a teacher like myself, with a good heart, good spirit, sound mind, no, I would not mind if they took his hair out. That's what little girls like to do. They like to do hair and do nails and makeup. I have 5 little sisters. You bet your had a wig on my head before, had a whole lace front. I done got my nails painted, eyebrows done. Bro, this is what they do. As a father, I would even let my daughter do those things. Like if she wanted to paint my nails pink or freaking put a wig on me or do my hair or put makeup on me, I'm going to do every single one of those things. You know why? Because I'm secure in my masculinity. That's one thing that I think is stumping a lot of guys, a lot of grown men today, is they are not secure with themselves and they project their own insecurities onto others. Everything doesn't have to be weird. It's even the way you worded this question. Read this. You letting your daughters play in a grown man's head? Do you see how you're already trying to spin that?
His students began texting him after he never showed up to his classes, which made him emotional.
Hey, bestie. I really hope that you see this message. How are you? I hope that you're okay. Our class misses you so much, and we really want you to know that we love you and we miss you so much and can't wait for you to come back. I can't believe that taking somebody's hair out is such a big deal, and it makes me so mad that people make little things big things. I want you to know that the class and others got your back, and we will always stand behind you and up for you no matter what happens. We got you. Again, we miss you and we love you so much, and can't wait for you to come back.
Okay, so for me, this is a no-no. This is extremely too personal for me. And then just to think about it, what are they doing texting you? They got your number too? First, they're taking your braids out, and then the students have your personal number. Like, this is not how a relationship between a student and a teacher should work. Then on top of that, this could have been a major issue. You definitely could have become a major liability to that particular school, because what if you had one of those parents that had a few marbles loose and came to the school, especially the father, and cleared it out? You know what I'm saying? Cleared it out and aired you out. Like, this is disrespectful to the parents in my estimation. This is way disrespectful to have their kids actually taking out your braids. Listen, you are there to teach and nothing more and nothing less. That's it. Teach and go home. I get giving kids advice here and there. I understand that I had a teacher to give me advice. But at the end of the day, most of the time, if I had to stay after school and talk to a teacher, they had another teacher come in to witness the encounter, to witness the conversation, to make sure things didn't get out of hand or there was anything that they could deem to be inappropriate during that present time. So in my mind, this is where it starts. I don't care if his mindset was not in that realm. it just looks crazy. The perception of this is just everything. And so listen, I don't know if he gets another job after this. I don't know if he gets another job because he was so nonchalant about it and so dismissive and basically kept posting to TikTok, didn't take the videos down. It was like he was standing on business. And when I say I don't know if he's going to get another job, I mean to specify another teaching job. So I don't know if he was trying to change the teacher and student relationship by just posting his interactions with his student, but no, people are not having that nowadays. And so in my estimation, hey, you deserve to get fired. But anyway, I'm gonna let this go right here. I want you guys to drop down and let me know what you think about everything that was discussed within this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.